What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's dive into NXT for September the 5th, 2023. Pretty decent show for the most part. We are still on the road to building towards No Mercy at the end of the month. So I am excited for that. We are starting to build a couple of matches for No Mercy. Overall, NXT was okay for the most part. It wasn't bad. It wasn't awful. It was okay to decent. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night, that being for the NXT Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton versus Kiana James. Tiffany Stratton wins. So towards the end of the match, Tiffany Stratton rakes the eyes of Kiana James, unbeknownst to the official. Then she follows that with the rolling senton, and then she hits the prettiest moonsault ever. 1, 2, 3. And also, Kiana James was able to hit the 401k in this match. So, it was a pretty decent little short match. It was like 7 minutes, I believe. So, post-match, Tiffany Stratton celebrates. And then Becky Lynch appears on the Titantron. So, Becky Lynch said, seeing as Tiffany Stratton has made her presence known on Raw and at Payback, it's time for the man to pay a visit to her old stomping grounds. Becky Lynch said she is yet to become the NXT Women's Champion, and she'll finally get the opportunity next week in the main event. So, that's pretty cool there. I think we might get a screwy finish, which we do need. And I feel that this actually needs to be a feud and not a one and done type of match. So hopefully this leads us into a feud. It needs to happen, because what's Tiffany Stratton going to do at No Mercy? So I do have a feeling that something's going to happen. Moving on. So Wes Lee and Carmelo Hayes, they arrived at the arena at the exact same time. They had an awkward stare down. I don't know why, but Wes Lee was wearing a pink hoodie. Don't know why. I know he was sweating bullets in that thing. I'm like, damn, dog. I thought you had more sense than that. Come on, man. You're in Florida. It's the middle of the summer. Like, come on, dog. Use your fucking brain. Moving on. So the Creed brothers, they want to thank Tony D and Stax for having Ivy Niles back a couple weeks ago. And Idris Enofe and Malik Blade, who've not been on NXT television for a couple months. I want to say, at best, maybe 3 months. I can't remember the last time we've seen them. It's been months since we've seen them. So they apparently, for whatever reason, have issues with the Creed's sense of entitlement regarding the NXT Tag Team Championships. And I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. We've not seen these guys on television for a minute. And I like Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. I do. I think they can be something. But it's been a while since we've seen them, and that's not a good sign. Shawn Michaels needs to do better, though. You know, he needs to book his tag division better. Just stating the obvious. Moving on, so this leads us into Ilya Dragunov versus Oro Mensah. Pretty decent little match. Ilya Dragunov gets the win via the Torpedo Moscow. So, post-match, Wes Lee comes down, he gets on the mic, and says that Ilya Dragunov's date with Destiny has to be put on pause. So Ilya says he's not waiting for anything. And he says with a lot of intensity and passion, he says he's going to rip the heads off of everybody that stands in his way. I'm like, damn. Ilya is that dude. Ilya is that dude. Ilya is going to be extremely successful on the main roster. So then out comes Carmelo Hayes. He joins the conversation. Carmelo gets on the mic and says that he already put Dragunov and Lee's jerseys up in the rafters last week. So Carmelo had a conversation with Shawn Michaels last week, and he basically said that next week Ilya Dragunov will go one-on-one with Wesley, and the winner will go fight Carmelo Hayes at No Mercy. And then Hayes promises that he won't show any mercy on September 30th. Damn. So I do like this. This makes a lot of sense. Thankfully, we're getting a number one contender for the NXT Championship. One-on-one, like it should be. I know that we heard triple threat chants in the crowd, but thankfully it didn't happen, so that was a smart move on Shawn Michaels. It does make sense. Who wins? I really don't know. It's a toss-up. I don't know. I want to go with Ilya because the story calls for it, but then what do you do with Wesley? So I don't know. I really don't know. Really don't. It's like being caught in the middle. And I like both guys. But if I had to pick, I'm going to go with Ilya. That's just me. I'm going to go with Ilya. It makes more sense because that actually would be a better main event for No Mercy than Wesley and Carmelo Hayes. That just screams to me just a regular NXT main event for the NXT Championship. So hopefully Ilya wins next week. Moving on. So Dominik Mysterio's backstage and he's looking at the custom referee shirt that Mommy made for him. So that was cool there. Moving on. So Mackenzie Mitchell has a backstage interview with Nathan Frazier. So Nathan Frazier knew that he went viral last week for going too fast. Maybe he got too excited, but tonight is a must win. He's not going to hold back or slow down. Okay, I'm fine with that. Moving on. So, Gigi Dolan accuses Jacy Jayne for taking advantage of Thea Hale. Blair Davenport joins the conversation and says that Gigi can't handle swimming in shark-infested waters. So Gigi is not fazed by Davenport's threats. Thea Hale says she doesn't need to have Gigi Dolan stand up for her because she's a big girl and fights her own battles. So Gigi Dolan may not know Thea Hale well, but she knows Jacy Jayne very well, and she was trying to help out. So Thea Hale then says again she's not a kid, and she'll show Gigi Dolan that later on tonight. Okay, that's cool there. Moving on. So this leads us into Nathan Frazier versus Duke Hudson. So, this is Group B for the NXT Global Heritage Cup Invitational. So Nathan Frazier gets the win here via the Phoenix Splash. I'm fine with this. Not really that important. Thankfully, these matches have not been too long. They do have a time limit of 12 minutes, so most of them don't go pretty long. So Nathan Frazier advances. I think he gets a pinfall, so he gets, I believe pinfalls are 2 points, I believe. Moving on. So, we're back at the Diamond Mine Dojo. So Hank and Tank, who have been seen for weeks, they show up. And then plus we see Nima and Price. They state their case as to why they should get an opportunity at the NXT Tag Team Championships. Okay? More tag team drama, I guess. really good stuff there, I guess. So moving on. So Kiana James, she's throwing a shit fit in the women's locker room while Roxanne Perez was talking to Lyra Valkyria. So Kiana James has no problems in taking opportunities away from Roxanne Perez. So this leads us into a fucking 6-person brawl. A 6-woman brawl for whatever reason. Don't know why, but sometimes these chicks, they gonna throw hands. And that's what they did. So they threw hands. So they threw hands. Alright. Moving on. So Mackenzie Mitchell had a backstage interview with Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin doesn't buy that Bron Breakker is the alpha male of NXT. Baron Corbin says he doesn't get Von Wagner's fascination with tables. And Baron Corbin doesn't care who wins the match, but he'll be at ringside doing commentary. And I'm like, no, why? Moving on. So, Tiffany Stratton refuses to do an interview with Kelly Kincaid. So that's fine there. Moving on. So we had Tyler Bate versus Davikato. Tyler Bate gets the win, which is fine there. He wins. I forgot how he wins. Is it the Tortino? Yeah, he wins via the Tortino. Yeah, he wins with that, which is kind of weird because I'm always used to him doing the driver that he does. I'm always used to seeing that, but again, who cares? Davikato sucks ass. Like, I don't know why Davikato there. The crowd popped when Tyler Bate did the airplane spin. They got a really good pop from the crowd. So now Tyler Bate can focus on the Heritage Cup now. Moving on. So Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams, they're in the men's locker room talking. So Trick gets off the phone with whoever he's talking to. And Ilya Dragunov wants to know why Trick Williams is lying to his best friend. Trick has no doubt that Carmelo can beat Ilya again. Dragunov says after he's done with Wesley next week, Williams can either stop lying to his best friend or stop lying to himself. And I'm like, wow, this is some good stuff here. So I'm digging this. Moving on. Drew Gulak, he has an issue with Miles Bourne joining forces with Josh Briggs and Brooke Jensen. So Miles Bourne just wanted an opportunity to compete on NXT. But Gulak said he's not ready. So I do like that. So they're going to kind of like essentially haze Miles Bourne, which kind of does make sense. That's kind of cool shit, If you guys have played sports or whatever, then you know the whole hazing stuff and everything else. I played sports a little bit. I played sports when I was younger. I never played like when I was in high school or anything like that or whatever, but I did play when I was younger, growing up. But yeah, so I get where he's coming from. So they're kind of like trying to haze or bully Miles Bourne. So I'm guessing they'll have the 6-man tag next week. I think they advertised that next week. I think. Moving on. So Eddie Thorpe says he has unfinished business with Dijak. Who gives a shit? I want Eddie Thorpe to go back to New Japan, for being honest. Or go to Impact. Come on, dog. Nah, man. Moving on. So this leads us into Dragon Lee versus Mustafa Ali. With Dominik Mysterio as the special guest referee. So, Dragon Lee gets screwed over by Dominik Mysterio. So, Dragon Lee hits his set-out powerbomb finish. Dom counts it very slow, too. And then, Ali rolls up Dragon Lee, and Dominik Mysterio counts a very quick 3 count. And so, post-match, Mustafa Ali punches Dominik Mysterio after seeing the replay. And then Ali shakes Dragon Lee's hand and exits the ring. So, I'm fine with that to an extent. But they should run that back. They really should. But I think what they might do is possibly do a triple threat match. I don't know. But it does suck that Dragon Lee got screwed out. You know, that does suck. And who knows? Maybe Mustafa Ali might want his match before No Mercy. You never know. So there's still hope for Dragon Lee yet. And I do think that Dragon Lee will be the one to dethrone Dominik Mysterio. And that's what they're going to end up doing. Hopefully Shawn Michaels does that. Moving on. So we get a Von Wagner vignette. He's pounding on a table, speaking to it, talking about something about tables and how they've helped him become a better person. He's now getting cures and everything else. So there's that. Moving on. So Los Lotharios, they come into play. And then basically all the entire tag division just starts to brawl. It's a massive brawl that breaks out. So there is that. Moving on. So Dana Brooke takes issues with Kalani Jordan, taking advice from Lyra Valkyria. And then Lyra Valkyria challenges Dana Brooke to a match. Okay, I'm fine with that. So again, it looks like Dana Brooke is probably going to slowly but surely turn heel. That makes sense there. Continuing on. Tiffany Stratton, she's not fazed by Becky Lynch's resume because she's the center of the universe and the NXT Women's Championship. And then Tiffany Stratton proceeds to call Becky Lynch a bitch. And I love that. That was really good shit there. I'm like, ooh. And she said it nicely, too. She said it with some... she said it with some passion in her voice. Shit, she wasn't playing. Like, she said that with passion in her voice. I was like, oh, okay, Tiffany, I see you, girl. I see you. Oh, I see you. But, like I said earlier, I hope that this becomes a feud and not just a one-and-done match. It needs to become a feud. So, hopefully, there is a screwy finish next week. Maybe like a double count-out or something like that or something. But we need something so that way this feud can continue. I want Becky Lynch to be in NXT for at least a couple months. At least that. I think that would be great. Moving on. Butch versus Axiom. So, this was a draw. And this pissed me off a lot. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Come on, man. We don't need this. So, I believe a draw, I think you get, is it 0 points or is it 1 point? I can't remember. Cannot remember, but that was a waste of time. Again, I don't know why Pete Dunne didn't win with the bitter end. I don't know why Axiom had to kick out. I don't know. That makes 0 sense. And then post-match, Tyler Bate appears on the stage, and he waves hello to Butch, a.k.a. Pete Dunne. I just don't get why it was a time limit draw. Next. Gigi Dolan versus Thea Hale. So, JC Jane gets involved. And Blair Davenport gets involved. So, she hits the divorce court on the floor. And then Thea Hale makes Gigi tap out to the Kimura lock. So I'm fine with this. This makes sense. I'm guessing they're going to have a little alliance involving Gigi Dolan. I mean, my bad, not Gigi Dolan, but involving Thea Hale and Blair Davenport, as well as Tiffany. They're going to have basically an alliance involving Blair Davenport, Thea Hale, and JC Jane. So that should be pretty cool there. I do like that. That's great. And then the main event. So this was Bron Breakker versus Von Wagner in a no DQ match. So Von Wagner does powerbomb Bron Breakker to the announce table. This was an okay match, and so Bron Breakker hits a low blow, and then he spears Von Wagner to pick up the victory. Post-match, Bron Breakker viciously attacks Von Wagner with a steel chair, and then Braun throws Von Wagner to the ring steps, and then Braun then proceeds to pick up the steel steps and smash the head of Von Wagner on the steel steps. And then this actually fades us to black because there's a blackout for whatever reason. I'm like, damn. I forgot to mention that Von Wagner threw Bron Breakker through the little NXT entranceway. I got a holy shit chant, so that was crazy. But this is okay. I mean, I do like this. So yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. This is probably going to continue their feud, I guess. NXT for the most part was okay, but way too many matches. We don't need 8 matches on a damn 2-hour show. We just don't. Again, less is more. This is a 2-hour show. All you need is no more between 4 and 5 matches. 6 at best, if you really want to, But I think 4 and 5 matches, Shawn Michaels, is what we need. If you give us 4 to 5 matches, we're good. We don't need any fucking 8 matches. That makes no sense. This isn't a damn pay-per-view. But NXT was decent. The Von Wagner stuff was cool. The Bron Breakker stuff was cool. Becky Lynch showing up on NXT was cool. That's cool there. And we're still building towards No Mercy. I'm loving the Wesley Dragunov stuff. I'm loving that. I'm loving Trick and Mello. So it's pretty decent. What did you guys think? Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.